and I can't switch it off. So good morning everyone. Welcome. Sorry, 10 minutes late this morning, but we'll jump straight in and get cracking. My name is Bruce Rose. I'm the co-founder of Rethink Drink alongside Matt Brindley, and we work exclusively with clients who struggle with alcohol dependency, alcohol addiction. We're live on Rethink Drink Facebook. We're live on Rethink Drink YouTube and TikTok as well. So if I'm kind of looking from one screen to another, it's because I've got my phone here for TikTok and computer for the other ones. Okay, good morning, guys. Welcome. So what? Okay, I'll be here till about 8:25 this morning. I've got another meeting to jump into as usual at 8:30. So I'll just be talking a little bit about the model that we use for alcohol recovery and the process that we use. We're not a 12-step program. We're not an abstinence-based program. Nothing wrong with those if it's working for individuals. But we look at, excuse me, we look at and treat alcohol dependency as a neurological condition whereby when you drink alcohol, the brain becomes addicted to endorphin. The endorphin is produced and released when someone drinks alcohol. The reason we drink alcohol is the pursuit of the endorphin. The addiction is to the endorphin. And when somebody relapses, it's because the brain you've removed the endorphin away from the brain by removing the alcohol. That creates craving, and the craving for the endorphin is what creates the relapse. So endorphin. Everything around alcohol dependency is endorphin related, everything. In regards to the addiction, now, yes, there are underlying issues. There are reasons why people drink. There are reasons why people start drinking. But if you're dealing with the underlying issue of the emotional, psychological side, you're never going to deal with the neurological process that's happening in the brain, which is the brain's addiction to a chemical called endorphin. So first and foremost, we believe that with any form of recovery with alcohol, the first step has to be the regulation and control of the endorphin in the brain. My apologies, my alarm is going off this morning, and I cannot stop it for love nor money. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's absolutely no way I can switch this off. I don't know how to do this. Right. Apologies. Are you still there? Apologies, guys. My phone alarm keeps on going off, and I cannot, for the love of me, be able to switch it off. Anyway, it's off for the time being. It might come back on again in a couple of minutes, so we'll hope that it will eventually just switch itself off. If not, I might have to finish up early. Okay. Endorphin. You drink alcohol, it produces endorphin. The reason we drink is endorphin, the addiction is endorphin, and the relapse is a result of endorphin as well. So is there a way to regulate and control the endorphin? If we can regulate and control the endorphin, we can regulate and control the volume that people drink, and therefore control any level of dependency that someone has. The answer to that one, obviously, it's why we're here, is yes. There is a medication called naltrexone. Naltrexone is an opiate inhibitor, sits on the opiate receptor. You take naltrexone. Gary, good morning. Anyone is in the London area wanting to buy a car, please get in touch with Gary Cambridge, who's in the chat. Great guy, very, very genuine guy. And got some good cars for sale in London area. So yeah, if anyone is wanting to deal with their alcohol dependency, the solution is naltrexone alongside a one-to-one support program. Carrie, good morning. Welcome. Thank you very much. Top geezer. All right, bye. Great guy. I'm doing a lot better than I thought I could all on my own. Absolutely fantastic. Whatever you're doing, Carrie, if it's working for you, keep going. Whatever process you're doing. We're not here to say that our model is the best. There are some organizations, there are some people in some organizations that would like to say that their model is the only model. I think we've got to stay away from that whole process. We've got to stay away from the fact that one size fits all. This is a model that uses medication to deal with the whole process. Now, some people like to go down the abstinence-based road. Some people will be watching this today who are currently going down the abstinence-based road. And if that's someone's situation and case, absolutely no problem. Keep going for it. Okay, we're live on Facebook, Rethink Drink Facebook, Rethink Drink YouTube and TikTok. So if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to fire away. So I'll grab a coffee. Okay, what can we cover? We normally just go through the same routine of explaining the process. But I think this morning, what I want to try and have a look at is a slightly different angle of the whole process. It's something that we call the neurological pathways in the brain. When you drink alcohol, it's producing endorphin in the brain, a very, very high amount of endorphin. Naltrexone will regulate and control that endorphin. In regards to the neurological pathways in the brain, the way that we learn everything, I'm not a neuroscientist or anything, but I'll give you the best explanation that I can give you on this one. When you drink alcohol and you'll get a huge amount of endorphin from day one, the brain starts to learn that when you go like this and you have a drink and you get this huge endorphin reward, it starts relating the two processes in the brain to feel and know and understand. When I go like this with alcohol, what happens is it will produce this huge amount of endorphin, and it relates the alcohol with the endorphin. So as you go on through life, whether you're happy, sad, wedding, funeral, birthday, Christmas, whatever is going on in life, and you have a drink and get the huge endorphin reward, the brain learns that when I do this, I get this reward. And that's what creates craving. That's what creates the obsessive thinking. That's what creates the desire to want more and more and more, because the brain remembers and memorizes that when you do this, the brain's going to get this reward. So the neurological pathways, the neurological pathway in the brain is built up as time goes on. So the whole point of what we do is we are an alcohol reduction program leading to controlled drinking through the process of using alcohol. So you basically drink yourself to a level where, here comes my alarm again. Sorry, give me 1 second. This is driving me nuts. There's absolutely no way, if I go into the alarms, it just won't switch off. Settings. I have no idea. No idea. This is absolutely baffling. My apologies, guys. I'll be with you in a second. There we go. Right, I'll give it one more turn and then it's... My apologies, guys. My phone alarm keeps going off, and that's what I'm doing TikTok on. So, apologies. If it goes off again, I might just wind up the live for today. It's just not flowing properly as we go through the whole thing. So, okay, let me just stick up a pin at the bottom. Okay, if you're watching on TikTok, there's a Learn More button at the bottom. Please click that if you want to get in touch with us. If you're watching us through YouTube or Facebook, send us a private message or go to our bio. You can find us through that way. If you're on TikTok, there's a Learn More button at the bottom there. If you're in the UK or Ireland, please feel free to click that button and get in touch with us. Okay, what do I do? Okay, we use a medication called naltrexone. Naltrexone is an opiate blocker or an opiate inhibitor. It sits on the opiate receptor. You take the medication 1 hour before you consume alcohol. It lowers the reward that the brain is getting in endorphin. And as a result of that, it rewires the neurological pathways in the brain that I was in the middle of telling you about. And as a result of that, it removes the craving. The neurological pathways, every time you have a drink, you get a high reward. It builds up the neurological pathway in the brain. In other words, teaching the brain, when I do this, I get this reward. The reason that we take the medication alongside alcohol is we have to unlearn that whole process. The way that you unlearn the process, again, is how you learned it in the first place, through repeated behavior. So what happens is you take your pill, wait an hour, and then you drink for the rest of the day as you feel led to drink. Because the endorphin reward has been lowered, the brain will get more of a drive to drink less and less and less as time goes on. And as the brain is getting the lower reward, each time you take the medication and drink, it's rewiring the neurological pathway in the brain. And as a result of that, it's removing the craving. So if you remove the craving, you don't get the relapse. The craving is for the endorphin. If you remove the craving, you don't get the relapse. And if you lower the reward, you don't get that obsessive drive to drink more and more and more. Alcohol dependency is a neurological condition whereby the brain has become addicted to the endorphin in the brain. Are you saying I can pop pills to drink to cure my popping pills and drinking? No, absolutely not. If you have a medication addiction or any other addiction other than alcohol, it's not a solution. And it's not a case of popping pills, as some people say. It's a case of taking medication called naltrexone. Now, alcohol dependency is a neurological condition. It's a medical condition, just like, it's not like asthma or epilepsy, but it's a medical condition, just like a whole bunch of other medical conditions, asthma, epilepsy, arthritis. And people will take medications quite happily to deal with those issues, but they won't, or they've got a real issue when it comes to taking medication for a neurological condition that's been developed through consuming alcohol. So many people think that popping pills is a drug and you're swapping one addiction for another. Naltrexone is an opiate blocker. There's no reward, no feeling. It's not mood altering. It's not mind altering. It doesn't do any of those things. It just blocks the opiate receptor, and it lowers the amount of endorphin being produced. As a result of that, rewiring the neurological pathways in the brain and de-addicting the addicted brain. So are we saying that naltrexone can be used alongside alcohol to produce the successful end result? Absolutely, yes. But not to be used with anything else other than alcohol. Okay. What's my take on using cannabis to stop alcohol? Everyone to their own thing, I suppose. I wouldn't use a mind-altering substance to get rid of or to deal with another mind-altering substance. There's a medication that's not mood-altering, that's not mind-altering. It's an opiate blocker. It literally just lowers the reward. And here comes my alarm again. I'm just going to talk through it this time. My apologies if you can hear the alarm going off in the background. My phone alarm. Apologies for that. My phone is about to get hurled into the water. Okay, it'll be off in a second. Okay, my apologies if you can hear the phone ringing or vibrating or the sound of my alarm going off. I literally cannot switch it off. It's just going on and on and on. Sophie is saying that it's hard. Sorry, what was I saying? I was saying something else just before that. Taking cannabis, yeah. Well, I mean, why would you take cannabis when there's a medication, a safe, trialed and tested medication that is not mood altering or mind altering? If you're using a substance like cannabis to exchange for another addiction, you're swapping one addiction for another, really. So if someone wants to use that and it works, then that's really up to an individual. It's not for me to say whether it's right or wrong. I personally would go down a road of using a medication that's not mood altering or mind altering. Okay. Sophie is saying that 16 days sober. Well done, Sophie. I'm saying that it's really hard. It will be hard because always remember the brain is addicted to endorphin. When you stop drinking, you remove the alcohol, but you also remove the endorphin that the brain is addicted to. That's what creates the craving. So the craving is for the endorphin, and then you have to make a commitment to never drink again. Now, that works for a lot of people, and for those people that it works for, listen, absolutely fantastic. But for the people it doesn't work for, I'm just trying to explain, Sophie, that the issue is endorphin. It's nothing else. So go to Google and type in natural endorphin producing activities, write a list of them, and then try and get out and go for a walk, go for a run, take the dog out, watch some comedy on TV, listen to some uplifting music, do something to produce natural endorphin, and that should help the process or take the edge off it. Cannabis is the most natural medicine herb on the planet. Okay, it's also mood altering and mind altering. So if someone wants to use it, listen, I've got no issue with people using it if that's their choice. That was my choice of drug for 10 years plus other things as well. So I understand cannabis better than a lot of people, but maybe not the person with the comment. I agree that cannabis is a lot less addictive than alcohol, but I wouldn't be recommending it, especially when there's a natural medication out there. Okay. Can you explain with naltrexone? It will reduce your cravings, but do you need to limit on how much you drink? For example, I drink to blackout, but for the endorphins hit, will naltrexone help that? Yes, it will, absolutely. So someone is asking, will it reduce the craving? It will reduce the cravings, but do you have to limit how much you drink when you're drinking? Always remember with this question is, do you limit the amount you drink when you're on naltrexone? The reason that people drink the volume that they drink is, one, they're addicted to endorphin, and number two, the brain is pursuing that chase for the endorphin. So that when you take naltrexone, it lowers the endorphin in the brain, and as a result of that, it naturally takes away that drive to drink the volume that you drink. So when you go on naltrexone, it's lowering the reward. So therefore, the brain's subconscious is subconsciously not chasing the volume that it normally drinks. So your volume intake will naturally change and reduce immediately straight away. Now, you do need to make habitual changes. There needs to be behavioral changes. So that's that side of things. If someone is drinking to blackout, they're drinking to blackout because the brain, again, is dependent on the endorphin, and it's chasing that endorphin reward. Give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. The more alcohol is in the blood system, the brain has a natural process where when the amount of alcohol in the blood system gets to a certain height or certain level in the blood, the brain will produce a natural anesthetic and it will black you out. So, and that's because of the pursuit of the endorphin. So thank you, Rosie Posey. When you when you take naltrexone, it will lower the reward. That will naturally take away the volume that you drink. Most people in our program, when they start with us and they have been drinking to blackout, the blackouts will stop within the first, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. And then we can regulate and control everything. So if anyone's watching on TikTok, if you want to learn more, please get in touch with us. There's a learn more button at the bottom. And we'd be more than happy to send some more information on. My telephone. Oh, my phone alarm, it just will not switch off. I'm going to throw this into the nearest field shortly. Sorry, give me a second, guys. Let me at least turn it down. My apologies, my alarm is going off if you're just joining us, and I can't switch it off. Okay. Do I have to do the library? I'm not sure what you mean by do we have to do the library? The alarm, Amanda, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear it. It's driving me absolutely nuts. I set my alarm clock to get up this morning, and I normally use a normal alarm, but this morning I decided to use my phone because my alarm was in a different part of the house. And there is no setting to switch it off. I've switched the phone off anyway. I've switched it off and on, everything. It's not working. So apologies if you can hear it. Librium. Okay, someone's asking about Librium. Okay, someone's asking, do you have to use Librium to go through our program safely? We don't use Librium or diazepam. Librium and diazepam is used during detox, and it's used to make sure that it's an anti-seizure medication to stop people having a seizure when they're withdrawing from alcohol. Our program is an alcohol reduction program leading to controlled drinking over a period of months. And that's why the support process is so important. We need to make sure that someone is reducing at a gradual pace at a speed that is safe and suitable for that individual. So we don't use Librium. And Librium, if someone is going to stop overnight for an abstinence-based program, please, please, please do not do it until you've spoken to a doctor and the doctor has advised on a medical detox, which would use Librium. So if someone's doing an abstinence-based process, then yes, absolutely. Okay. Someone here, I have alcohol withdrawal seizures at the moment. I'm trying so hard not to drink just now. This person, please, please, please seek medical advice. Phone your doctor as soon as the surgery is open this morning and speak to the doctor as soon as possible. Do not take the risk with the seizures. Do not take the risk with the withdrawals without speaking to a doctor first. Please, please, please contact a doctor as soon as possible. Get to hospital, they're deadly. Thank you, Jimmy. So absolutely, speak to a doctor or hospital as soon as you possibly can. Don't hang around with it. Don't mess around with it. Don't play around with it. It's absolutely vital that you get medical support. If you're going to continue to not drink, that you get medical support as soon as possible. 9 months sober. Well done. Someone's 9 months sober. Absolutely fantastic. Someone's asking, what happens if they have a bad reaction to naltrexone? The cost of the program obviously is a risk if they have a bad reaction to it. If it's coming through our program for this individual, if someone gets involved in our program and they can't get on the medication because they have a reaction to it, we will refund the money completely minus the doctor's consultation. Every single person that starts with us, will get a doctor's consultation initially to make sure that they're medically suitable for the program. Once the doctor prescribes naltrexone, if someone can't get on naltrexone for medical reasons, then we'll give a full refund minus the doctor's fee, because the doctor's consultation has happened already. So, but there'll be a full refund of the money if for any reason. Now, just to give you an idea of people that I think we've had, I've worked with over 1,000 clients, and we've only ever had one person who couldn't get on the medication because they had an allergic reaction to one of the ingredients in the medication. So 1 in 1,000 it would happen to. But if it does happen, well, there's a full refund. Withdrawal is nasty but doable. Please, that's not a comment for on here. I'll delete the next time. I'm not having a dig at the person that's putting this. I understand what you're saying, but on this platform, we have to stress beyond anything that yes, withdrawals must be nasty, but do not push through a withdrawal, even though they're being nasty, without medical support. It's not doable without medical support. So please do not put on any comments on here to say that that withdrawals are, you can just fight through it and just keep going and gut it out. There is a risk of seizure, and seizure can be fatal, and you'll only have one fatal seizure. Please, please, please do not risk it. It's not doable without medical support. Do you find people who quit drinking just find, here comes the alarm again. Ah! There we go. Hopefully that should lower it for a second. Do you find people who quit drinking just find a different addiction? The big issue is when you drink alcohol, it produces a huge amount of endorphin. When someone stops drinking, the craving and the addiction is to the endorphin. So yes, a lot of the times when people remove the alcohol, the brain is craving the endorphin from alcohol, but then people go looking for something else to replace that really, really high amount of endorphin. When you take naltrexone, it lowers the endorphin reward, it rewires the pathway in the brain, and the brain learns to accept the lower reward over a period of 3, 6, or 12 months, depending how much someone's drinking. So that lowering of the reward with naltrexone takes away that obsessive drive and the addiction for the higher reward. Now, without naltrexone, do people swap onto other addictions? Absolutely, because the craving is so strong for a lot of people that they need to have that huge amount of endorphin. The reason that naltrexone works so well is it lowers the endorphin. It allows an individual to keep drinking so they don't go into pursuit for another substance that's going to create the reward and the addiction, because the brain's still getting a reward from naltrexone, just not getting the huge amount, and it then creates an on-off button so people can drink. So do people swap onto other addictions? Yes, they do. I would even go as far as saying some people swap. I won't go down that road, but there are abstinent-based models that become addictive because people have, anyway, I won't go down that road, but what's my tip of choice? I don't really drink, to be honest with you. I drink occasionally. When I do drink, I'll just drink Guinness. I'll have the occasional pint of Guinness. What's the medication? The medication's called naltrexone, Naltrexone, naltrexone. Okay, thank you so much. It's the sickness that concerns me. Okay, someone's saying it's the sickness from naltrexone that concerns somebody. Some people will experience a little bit of nausea when they start on the medication. Now, that can be easily overcome by reducing the amount of naltrexone that somebody takes, or a doctor for a few days while someone is experiencing the nausea will prescribe an anti-nausea medication, and it doesn't normally last for more than 2 or 3 days if someone does experience the side effect of nausea. Nausea is the only real side effect that people get from the medication, that they'll get maybe day 1 and day 2. If it carries on past day 2, our doctor will prescribe an anti-nausea medication, and it's normally gone by day 3, 4, or 5. Okay, I think we'll just get rid of Jack. Thank you very much, Jack. Is it a weakness of character or a disease? It's not a weakness of character. It is not, it is not, it is not a weakness of character. It is a neurological condition of the brain. What I don't want to get into an argument. What do you call it? Is it a disease, an illness, or whatever? When you drink alcohol, it produces endorphin in the brain. The brain becomes addicted to the endorphin. That endorphin desire and need and want is so strong that 90 to 95% of people who try and fight it once it gets to a higher level on an abstinence-based program cannot fight it. So it's not a character shortfall. It's not a personality shortfall. It's not even a higher power issue. It's a neurological condition of the brain where the brain becomes addicted to endorphin, and that is completely treatable today with naltrexone and a one-to-one support program. Completely treatable. Okay, let me just get rid of it. We've got a couple of little children on here at the moment. Let me just get rid of them. Sorry, I've just read a comment. Is there a serpent on the medical emblem? Freak, really? Have a word with yourself. I think's the expression for that one. Do you have to stay on the medication lifetime? Yes, you do. The issue with some people who struggle with it is that the brain is producing too much endorphin. So therefore, the research is showing that it's a genetic predisposition where some people's brains produce more endorphin. So yes, it is. But you only take the medication on the days that you drink. And here comes my alarm again. Let me just... My apologies, guys. I can't turn my alarm off this morning. There we go. Freak, any more comments and I'm going to block you. Thanks for the answer. No problem, Lord Nelson. Right, Freak, you're getting very close to getting blocked. I have ADHD and I've used alcohol as a stimulant to calm down. Absolutely. ADHD and alcohol dependency comes hand in hand. ADHD is an underproduction of endorphin. When someone finds alcohol, it's a very quick way of creating the additional endorphin. The problem is with alcohol, it produces a massive amount of endorphin. So someone with ADHD is more likely to consume alcohol on a more regular basis to calm and give the mind a bit of peace. And therefore, I think the figure was about 45% of people with ADHD struggle with dependency of some sort because it calms the brain down. So very common. We work with clients all the time with ADHD. Sorry, I'm just... okay, Freak, goodbye. Go and join another site and upset some people on there. Okay, sorry guys. Just have to get rid of that one. What was the name of the medication? The medication is naltrexone, Naltrexone. Excuse me, naltrexone. Okay. Okay, sorry, someone's just saying, drink a bottle of Bacardi every day for 20 years. Can I just stop? Absolutely not. If you're drinking that kind of level, do not suddenly stop without seeking medical advice. If you'd like support from us, then we are an alcohol reduction program leading to controlled drinking or abstinence using a medication called naltrexone. So through our program, it's a gradual reduction using naltrexone. With other programs, if you're going to stop immediately, do not do it without seeking medical advice first. Can you describe a little bit about where you were? I had a drug issue for 10 years. So I've never had an alcohol issue, but whether it's drugs or whether it's alcohol, it's a substance that's being taken. It's mood altering, it's mind altering. It's producing a chemical in the brain that is giving the body, the brain, a feeling of some sort, whether it's getting drunk, getting high, etc., etc. So the neurological process of addiction is the same, whether it's drugs or alcohol. But with alcohol, naltrexone specifically is targeting the endorphin receptor that the endorphin is hitting from alcohol. So my background was 10 years of, I had a 10-year drug issue. Okay, apologies, guys. The children have got out of bed. So we just need to get rid of one or two people. Okay. When I drink, why do I want to get hammered fast? Everything, always remember that everything to do with how much we drink, when we drink, the addiction and the relapse, or the reason why people can't stop and stay stopped, everything is endorphin related. Go to Google Scholar, not Google, but Google Scholar, and do some research on endorphin and alcohol. Endorphin is a highly addictive chemical in the brain that is produced when you drink alcohol. The addiction is to that endorphin. So why do I want to get drunk very, very quickly? Is because the brain is craving the endorphin. If you haven't given the brain endorphin for a day or 2 days or 3 days or even 24 hours, in some cases, when you do drink, the brain gets that huge endorphin reward that you've starved it of 24 hours a day, 2 days a week, a month. And when the brain gets that reward, it goes into, right, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. And the on-off button doesn't work because it's never satisfied and it wants more and more and more endorphin. It's not the alcohol. If I can repeat this, it's not the alcohol that you're addicted to. It is the endorphin that you're getting from the alcohol. When you explained about ADHD and 45%, is there a video specific I can watch because I want that? Is there a video? I can't remember where I read that stat, and I haven't seen specific videos, but I'm sure if you go to YouTube and type in ADHD and alcohol dependency, I'm sure there'll be something in there. Sorry, guys, give me a second. My alarm clock is still going off. Turn it down. There we go. Okay, what are my thoughts on a composite? And I can never say it. Very, very good if people are going down the abstinent-based road. If someone is using a composite and anti-craving medications, I'm sure the other one's an anti-craving. A composite definitely is, and very, very useful if prescribed by a doctor to regulate and control the craving for the endorphin. It has very good success with some people. Some people find that it doesn't have a huge amount of success. But if someone is abstinent and they're struggling with craving, then absolutely speak to your doctor. Great concept or great idea if the doctor's prescribing it. Is Sinclair Method naltrexone? Yes, absolutely. It is indeed. All the research comes from a guy called Dr. Sinclair in Finland, who did 30 years of research. There was 125 clinical trials carried out on the back of it, using the medication naltrexone. Naltrexone is taken alongside alcohol and on an alcohol reduction program. So if you're watching by TikTok, I'm going to stick a link at the bottom. There's a Learn More button, the blue button. Please click that if you want more information, or if you want us to send you some more details, or you want to get in touch with us and have a phone call with us. We'd be more than happy to speak to anyone. Please click that button at the bottom and fill it out. Absence of sleep. Absence of sleep is very, very common with alcohol. You're falling asleep, you're not getting a full sleep cycle, and the absence of sleep is the quickest way to put the brain into sleep deprivation, which is the quickest way to anxiety and depression. Quickest way to mess up your head, sleep deprivation. So we find that clients that we work with, as they're reducing their alcohol intake, what happens is their sleep cycles and their sleep patterns will get better and better and better as they go through. Thank you for doing this. Thank you, Jay. Much appreciated. Okay, guys. My apologies for my alarm this morning. It keeps on. I cannot switch it off. I'm going to have to figure out a way of switching my alarm off for the day. So I'm going to jump off just now. I've got a call or an appointment in about 10 minutes. I've got an electrician coming today who is going to switch the electricity off, so I need to get as much done as I can on the computer before the electricity gets switched off. Okay, guys, have a fantastic day. We've been live on Rethink Drink Facebook and Rethink Drink YouTube. If you go to Rethink Drink YouTube, then you will see a lot more videos that has been done. Jay, you're more than welcome. Absolutely welcome. Honestly, Jay, please go and research endorphin. Endorphin is the issue when it comes to alcohol addiction. Endorphin. And it's just a very, very basic biological research of go to Google Scholar and type in alcohol and endorphin. And you'll see that very, very quickly that all the science, all the research, all the medical stuff is showing very, very clearly that addiction is 100% endorphin related. Now, yes, there are underlying issues. There are reasons why people drink on a day-by-day basis. Every single day when someone's drinking, they're drinking for a different reason. They're upset one day, they're happy the next day, there's a wedding the next day. They're worried about something the next day. There's always an underlying reason that will trigger someone to chase the endorphin. But the endorphin is the issue. If you regulate and control the endorphin, you can regulate and control the drinking. If you regulate and control the drinking, then if there are underlying issues that need additional therapy, then that can be dealt with and taken care of at that point. But the reason people are drinking on a daily basis is nothing to do, in most cases, I would say, I'm just going to throw a figure out there, I'm not going to, but in most cases, if someone is drinking daily, they are not drinking because of underlying issues. They're drinking because the brain is addicted to endorphin. Now, yes, every day, I was speaking to a client the other day, they said, yeah, but Bruce, I'm drinking because I've got this problem and that problem and this problem. And I said, yeah, okay, for the next 2 weeks, write down the reason why you're having a drink today. So every day they wrote something down. And after 2 weeks, not every day, but there was about 7 or 8 different reasons every day why they had a drink. One day it was because of a birthday. One day it was because it was a Friday, they were going out with their friends. Another day they'd had a really stressful day at work. Another day they'd had an argument with a partner. So there was a whole bunch of different reasons why someone was drinking. In regards to trauma, let me just cover this one very, very quickly. In regards to trauma, people say, well, I drink because of trauma. And absolutely, we don't ever underestimate the trauma or situation. But someone might start drinking at a higher level because of trauma. But always remember, when you drink alcohol, it produces endorphin. Here comes my alarm again. Sorry, when you drink alcohol, it produces endorphin. So someone might be drinking at a higher level because of trauma, but then that's producing endorphin on a more regular basis in the brain. The brain will eventually tip over into addiction to the endorphin. When that happens, the reason that someone is drinking on a daily basis is because the brain is chasing the endorphin. It needs the endorphin. It wants the endorphin. It has to have the endorphin. Nothing to do with the trauma. So what you have to do in the first instance is regulate and control the endorphin. And then if there is underlying trauma or PTSD, once you regulate the endorphin, we can regulate the alcohol through our program and support with someone. And then you can signpost someone onto professional therapy for PTSD, trauma, etc., etc. But once the brain becomes addicted to endorphin, the only reason people are drinking is the pursuit of endorphin. And if someone doesn't believe that, just try taking away the endorphin from someone in that scenario, and they will do whatever they have to do to get that endorphin through drinking alcohol. I hope that makes some sort of sense. So, very happy person with a happy family and support system. So that has to be it. Absolutely, Jay. I mean, we speak to a lot of people that say to me, Bruce, I spoke to a lady yesterday. I've been told for years, Bruce, that there must be some deep underlying reason why I drink. And I've been searching for it, and I've been to counseling, and I've been digging and digging and digging and digging, and I can't find anything. I've been trying to go through my child and doing this, that, and another. I can't find anything that has driven me to drink. And I said, it's because it's that with some people is not the reason why they drink. The brain has become addicted to endorphin. It's that simple. We're trying to make it into something really, really complicated and really, really difficult. The very, very simple explanation, you drink alcohol, it produces endorphin. Endorphin is highly addictive. It's a chemical in the brain. Once the brain becomes dependent on it, that's the addiction. It can be regulated with naltrexone plus a support program to reduce the alcohol intake down, to change some habits and behaviors. Once that's done, you can continue to drink as long as you take your naltrexone for the rest of your life. No white knuckling it, no craving, no struggle, no battle. It's the most comfortable, kind, gentle, beautiful way of dealing with alcohol dependency that I've ever seen. My background was working in rehab center management, and I used to work in homeless shelters, worked on the streets with people struggling with addictions. Anyway, guys, I need to jump off. Please feel free to get in touch with us if we can help in any way. YouTube and Facebook, I'm just going to end that stream at the moment.